coach. Like, I'm really good at some things, but not at others. But you guys have this opportunity to, first of all, be coherent and critical thinkers. Understand the pieces, and then understand how what part you could do in what your special gifts are. But it requires you to summon up some courage. It requires you to kind of get off your phone, and it requires you to engage with people sometimes, right? Do stuff that makes you uncomfortable, a little bit on the edge. But think about some things that are practical. I mean, obviously there's a lot of race issues in this community. It's all going to be a lot better when we start treating each other well. That's one piece. Another piece is like, I have no idea where your food and energy come from here. I know that colleges cycle people through every 4 years. I get that, but at some point you might want to try to figure out how to spend, I know you guys spend a little bit of money to come here. I think it'd be great if you had local food. Or local food 1 day a week that would support local farmers. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the energy come from for this massive place? How much could be more efficient? I didn't, what I'm saying is like those kinds of pieces, and then partner with the communities. Because you got so many smart students that are here in a community that probably has no plan, I don't know what it's like, the rich think they'll be fine, but it turns out that climate change will drown them too. I don't know how to say it, but like, this is not a discriminatory thing. I know that our situation is going to be worse than some, but you all know what I'm saying. So I'm like, how do we build resilient cities? How do we build resilient cities? Where's your rooftop beekeeping plan? That's what people are doing. You know what I'm saying? Where's your community gardens so that people can eat? How do you detoxify neighborhoods? How do you help neighborhoods not end up with a big, toxic new project on them? How do you exercise the justice that is right in your practice? How do you, stand up? I go to the legislature. People go stand up for us in the legislature too. It's interesting to watch. Like, people are like, no, it's not right you do that to those people. I'm like, thank you for saying that. Say something. And then also think of the solution. To me, you heard me, rag on this system, but I got a plan. We can't just be about no, we have to be about what we want. Because if you think someone in Washington has the vision, they probably don't. You know what I'm saying? There's like a lack of vision in a society that has so much corporate influence. If you want vision for people, you have to be the people, right? So, whatever your skills are, and your critical thinking, but the privilege of a North American education is pretty big. And I'm super privileged. I live in my community. I live in a place where you can drink the water from a lake, literally. I hang out with my kids and my grandkids and my multitude of horses. I have a great life. And then I go out and I go talk to colleges all across this country, all around the world, And it's super interesting to see there are a lot of people thinking about what the solutions are. I'm inspired by students, I'm inspired by the thinking, and I'm inspired by the action. So, just know that in my look, there's a few places where they're kind of asleep at the wheel. But by and large, or I don't know if I should use that analogy, asleep at the wheel, that doesn't sound right. They've fallen asleep with the reins in their hand. That's the post-petroleum approach, right? But, so, be those people that come up with some really cool solutions, Be part of it. Okay, other questions? Yes?
Thanks again for being with us. Earlier today we were talking about education sovereignty a little bit. Could you just speak to how you're passing on these visions and skills to the younger generation in your community?
Yeah, first of all, I've raised a lot of kids. Y'all got that, right? And half of them were homeschooled. And their homeschooling consisted of doing a lot of work with their mom. They know how to, you know what I'm saying? My youngest homeschool protege is 19, and he's in the sugar bush right now. Actually hands-on, and I work in the schools, and we have tribal schools. But then I run an internship program, and people come, hang out with me, and I show them what frontline organizing is like. And so we train organizers, at our work, and I've done it for my whole life. Because you don't learn what I'm doing, you can study it in school, it's great. But if you gotta when you gotta get out and go walk into a place and face a company, you gotta have your facts in order. You have to be centered. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be sure of yourself. And you're gonna be scared as heck. You can be scared as heck, but know that someone is counting on you to use your voice. Right? I mean, that's what I think. Is like you only learn it by doing it. And it's not comfortable all the times. And sometimes I get in a place, I mean, I have like some serious haters on my case right now. Most of them are like sitting there when they're, on their phones, flicking insults at me. But a lot of those guys are pipeliners, and I'm like, wait, so y'all are personally hating on me. Y'all personally hating on me. I was like, I don't personally hate on you. Like, I'm trying to change the system. I said, I'm trying to protect your water too. But they will try to intimidate you, they will scare you. And after Standing Rock, 800 people arrested. I did not get shot. I didn't get shot, but my family did. So, the other thing is that you teach people, and that's not my goal my goal is not to get into a confrontational situation. I'm 60. I'm 60 years old. I'm good. But am I afraid of those guys? No. I'm like, what you gonna do? What you gonna shoot me for Canadian Pipeline Company? Come on. I'm gonna be standing there, hopefully we stop them in the courts. Because otherwise I'm gonna be standing there with a bunch of 60-year-old white ladies saying, you're gonna shoot us all? That's my plan. You're gonna shoot a bunch of 60-year-old white ladies? They will mow down those Indian men. They will mow down my sons and my nephews, but I think they're gonna have a harder time, So, you do your best and you show people what it is, and then you work on the solutions. Where else in the country are you gonna learn how to, rebuild the hemp industry? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rebuild the hemp industry. So someone's gotta do that, someone's gotta have some textile engineering skills that I don't. I know what a carder is and a decorticator and I don't know, it's like all this equipment. Spinner, spinning frame. It's all from down here though, right? I was looking at this equipment. It's like this, I feel like I'm building the Johnny Cash mill. It's like one piece at a time. I got pieces from North Carolina and Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and like some piece from Italy. I was like, that's the craziest, most interesting thing I could ever do in my life, is put together a mill that has all that story in it, right? Last place in the country where they had a hemp mill in this country, the last hemp mill that existed, because I think the last mill in the country was in Winona, Minnesota. Isn't that great? I was like, go team, go team. We'll get that one back too. I can see it. So, just do cool stuff. Anyway, that's like my motto, go do cool stuff, right? But why would you want to hang around and not be epic? Come on, it's our time. Okay guys, a couple more questions and then, well, I guess I got a couple more minutes. I have 3 books, that's what I managed to not give away, but anyway.
So,
Other, yeah.